Twin City Bible Church has a long and rich history. It actually began in the hearts of four individuals, two couples, back in 1955. Those two couples met in the home of one of them, Elmer and Lori Jarvis, and just shared their heart's desire to start a new church, to see if the Lord would do that, a new church that was an independent Baptist church that had a strong focus on missions. And within a year, that church was officially formed. They had 28 charter members to begin with, and they called their first pastor. They moved to a house the next year in the neighborhood of where we are now, but eventually in the early 60s built a building here on this property, a worship center and some Sunday school space. By the early 70s, they had grown to about 150 members. By that time, we're supporting 11 missionaries, had sent out some missionaries from their own church body. And then in 1976, they built an educational building that we presently are still using. However, in 1979, something tragic happened, and that is the auditorium, the original auditorium that they were using here, burned down. And so they met in the educational building for a while, until they finally, in 1981, were able to dedicate the new auditorium, which we're still using today. Fast forward to 2004, and they purchased some additional land right next to us, the adjacent land, to give us a total of about 7¼ acres, I believe. And then all through those years, there were, I think, 8 pastors altogether that were faithful men that served here and taught God's Word. I had the joy of moving here to become the senior pastor in 2006, and God continued to help us to grow. And around 2012 to 2014, somewhere in that range, we went through an expansion project just to help us have more space here. And then we had the joy of paying off all the debt of that just not too long ago. So now we're looking ahead to see what would be next to handle some of our space needs. But the real testimony in all this is just God's faithfulness through all these years. To bless the people here, the faithful people that we're serving, the faithful pastors that were here and associate pastors, the missionaries that were sent out, just evidence of God's hand upon this church. It started out with the name Twin City Baptist Church. When we went through that last expansion project, we did change the name to Twin City Bible Church. We are Baptistic still, but yet we wanted the focus in our name to be on God's Word, because the preaching of God's Word is at the center of everything that we do here.